Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here, as we always try to be. Anyways, it's Tuesday. We've been to a racetrack this year, both of us, so we kind of know what we're talking about. At least going to attempt to sound smart a bit.
We smelled the fumes. That's what matters. You got to get out there. You got to sniff it. You got to touch a couple race cars.
My brain with you works way too fast. As soon as you said we smelled, I was like, "Where's he going with this?" In the middle. But
it's gonna be okay.
Brought her back to the apex, and we came off 4 all right. So we're in good shape. We have a pack show today. Spencer just threatened to quit or go on strike because the amount of visuals we sent him is obtuse. It's just a little bit outside the box. Anyways, welcome everybody. Throw up the roll call. Let us know where you're watching from. As we get into the season, we're really looking forward to that. G-Force mission this year is to push it, share it, get your buddies to watch it. We're averaging about 30,000. I think you guys can push us to 35 or 40 by the end of the season. That'd be, I think those are good goals for us, Adam? Do you think they're achievable?
I think they're achievable. You know, even though we do a little bit, like, hey, hit that like button, we don't really promote as well as we probably could or should. It's time.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to welcome Ollie Ferguson, a good pavement story here in Ontario. We'll talk about the Weekend practice. We'll talk about sprint car wings. Justin Sharp called his shot with me a couple weeks ago, and he's about 7 days late, but still impressive for Sharpie to make the call and get it done. And we'll have him on Saturday night's modified winner from Merrittville. And then Cory Turner is going to come on. He's one of the drivers who was planning on doing double duty. He got to test both sprint cars Friday night at Weekend. So we'll talk to Cory about what he anticipates for his season in a very tough 360. You know, 360s are always tough at Weekend, right? As most top classes are. But when you get into the deep waters of the top 5 at Weekend, you know, Cory, Westbrook, Bowman, the other Turner, his brother Ryan. So it's lots of guys. And then you throw in a Farnham, a Hoddick. I know I'm leaving lots of guys out, but man, those handful of guys are going to be tough to beat week in and week out, as we've seen.
Now, I've got a dumb question. I saw in the chat, Tim Phillips talked about paying for a concrete pad. Is he going to run weekly this year?
Yeah, they did most of last year, or at least a good portion of it. I just recall because Terry Beckett gave his spot to him. And I remember sometime mid-season last year, he said, hey, I'm going to let Tim take my spot. So, yeah, they paid for a spot. To me, like registration at Weekend Speedway is $50. We are super fair to our race teams for that. But if you want the deluxe concrete pad, well, that's $250. So I would think you're going to take that. You know, he's probably going to be there weekly if he's got the pad. Have to worry about not working in the gravel on the back. Eventually, the plan is to get another 25 pads across the back, and we won't have these problems any longer. But for now, it's a bit of a priority, and there's a bit of a waiting list. But we've done good to get everybody where they want. Hey, that was my biggest shuffle every week. You know that. I'm more of a pit cop from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock every freaking Friday than I am. So I'm glad everybody.
And explain why. Friday. Explain why it's a challenge.
Well, so we have great concrete spots. We have about 110 at Weekend. We have 140 race teams. So you have teams that pay for the preferred spot. They're all numbered now. Everybody knows. But the big problem is when you give a division a night off. So you give the crates the night off and you're bringing the sportsmen. Well, the sportsmen, if they get there at 2 o'clock because they drove in from the east or wherever, they just pull on the concrete pad. Now, I'm not rolling into Canandaigua and just assuming the concrete's going to be mine, you know, but somehow they do that at our place.
Well, right, but beyond that, crazy. You've got this one doesn't like that one. This one,
okay,
their life
the politics
for
of
that
it.
one.
Yes,
you know, there's lots of reasons why certain people can't park around certain other people.
It's funny you say. I was trying to keep the business part of it. The part of it.
That's legit.
Yeah, there's a whole other side of that too. You know, you can't park this guy like this guy because they were teammates. Now they don't like each other. And like you said, there's personal issues over here. It's crazy. And that's not one team. That's 10 out of 100. That's 10% of the teams got reasons why they don't want to be near somebody else. So it's funny. I actually have a message, and I'll read it to you. I'll be vague about it if I can quickly find it, from a race team last week who sent me a message and said, I just cut to the chase. Hey, bud, hope all's well. Just want to reach out, seeing if I can move my pad at Oshweekend, preferably in the same row, but closer to the tech barn. And I just wrote back, okay, who are we getting away from, or who are we getting closer to? Just tell me, let's get to the point of the story. And then it went, well, I wouldn't mind being closer to this guy, but don't really want to be near that guy. I'm like, all right, well, let's cut to the chase and we make it easy. And everybody was happy. So there's your parking inside stuff. We got good stuff to talk about. Ollie Ferguson has joined us. Let's not make him wait any longer. Adam?
No.
You brought Ollie to the show, so I'm going to turn it over to you now to explain a little bit why we have Ollie Ferguson on our show tonight.
2 reasons. Ollie is a great young race car driver, so fun story that we want to follow as he progresses through the ranks. But Ollie's also been around for quite a long time. If you've watched a lot of NASCAR Canada races, he's probably been the grand marshal of 3 events. And we'll get into that as soon as we get him on here. Spencer's just messing with us. There he is. Ollie, what's going on, man?
Not much. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Going all right. So, Ollie, I kind of led in to say you've been known in the racing industry for longer than you've been behind the wheel. Do we want to start by talking about behind the wheel, or do we want to start with some of your backstory and why people know you?
Whatever you guys want. I'm up for anything. I'm ready.
Let's go back to the beginning. You've loved racing for a long time. What was your health condition that brought you? I think I know, but I'd rather you explain it. That led to people really getting behind you and all creating Ollie Strong.
So I've loved racing ever since the day I was born, pretty much. I went to my first race when I was 5 months old. I've been a race fan my entire life. My dad's been a race fan his entire life, so I just adapted into it. And when I was 4 years old, I cut my toe at a fair, and I got the CMV virus, which attacked my liver, and my immune system was oversuppressed with drugs, and I eventually developed into aplastic anemia monosomy 7, which is bone marrow cancer. And racing was kind of the only thing that got me through those couple of rough years of being in the hospital beds and being in the hospital rooms. Just being able to play my NASCAR heat or watch NASCAR on the weekends was like the coolest thing and kind of the only thing that brought me joy during those tough times. So I've always been a race fan, and racing has always been my passion, everything I've cared for.
So there's the backstory. So Ollie and your sister was a bone marrow donor, was she not? So Ollie and his sister were a fixture at the races.
Yeah, my sister was my bone marrow donor. I'm very thankful for her. Without her, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Yeah, it's been a long journey, and I'm proud to say she's my sister. She's a great kid.
So let's fast forward to you getting behind the wheel. Like, there's all this talk around racing. I see you and your dad quite often through the years. How good did it feel to get behind the wheel of an OSS stock car and have some success?
It was amazing. I mean, just from hopping out of a junior late was a huge turn into anything, bone stock, mini stock, anything like that. And to go to an OSS car was just amazing. And it was, at first, it was a little overwhelming. And like your first lap on track with other cars, you're like, oh, I can do this. It's kind of just a part of you, right? And the rush of adrenaline kicks over you, and you just have so much fun. Having 2 years of OSS experience is definitely a great choice for us, and I'm super proud and excited for what we accomplished.
Spencer, let's show the car. So, Ollie, what's the plan for this year? Tell us about this night quickly, and then what's the plan for 2025? Where are you going to race, and what are you going to be doing?
That night was amazing. I did not expect to be anywhere near the top three. It was slowest car in practice, sixth in qualifying, and then kind of mid-pack throughout the race. And then halfway through the race, it just kind of clicked. And all of a sudden, it was the fastest car on track by a mile, and we passed the leader and just never looked back. And I still think I won like yesterday. I'm still celebrating. So it's super surreal. And then to be going into a Pro Late model this year, full time at Sunset Speedway weekly, is just super awesome. And I'm super excited. I've never been this excited for a race season ever.
Your dad is such a hard worker when it comes to your racing, promoting you. How good did it feel to get him that win? You know, he's been beside you through everything.
I mean, it's all my dad in the shop. It's everything on that car is him. I mean, we're just two idiots in our garage working on a race car. I mean, we have no experience doing this. He has no experience setting up race cars, and I don't know if that's the what makes the magic happen or not, but he sure builds me a great race car, and I couldn't be any more thankful. And to get that win, just to see his face and to hug him afterwards, and just to see the excitement and happiness, it was all worth it. All the hours in the shop.
Ollie, where can fans catch up with you in your socials and keep up with what you got going on this year?
You can follow us on Facebook at Ollie Strong Racing, Instagram Ollie Strong Racing, and TikTok Ollie Strong Racing.
And how much traveling are you going to do? Are you going to focus on Sunset, or do you have hopes to get out to some different races?
So we had hoped to run both APC races at Sunset and the APC race at Peterborough and the Cassidy Memorial at Sauble. So trying to just kind of learn for this year and get as much seat time as possible. And then we don't know what our plans will be for 2026. We got to get through 2025 first.
Okay, I've got to ask you this because when we talked at Motorama, you weren't feeling all that well. Health is good. You're ready to tackle this?
Yeah, so the last 8 or 9 months I've been battling a stomach issue, and the doctors have not been able to figure it out yet. So I'm kind of just day by day going for it, and racing's kind of the only thing that takes my mind off it. So anytime I hop on the sim, it just my mind forgets about it, and it's the only time I feel better. So hopefully it happens in real life too. It's going to be tough, but we're going to battle through it.
Awesome. No, I'm really glad to hear that, man. Clint, that's all I've got. But Ollie, it's going to be exciting now because when we see you at the track, people that watch the show will remember back. Hey, that's the kid that they had on. That's the backstory, and you've got a good following.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited to see all the fans again this year. It's going to be a good year.
Good luck, Ollie. We'll be seeing you out the tracks.
Thank you very much.
Keep up with Ollie Ferguson. Everybody mentioned Ollie Strong on the socials here, so check that one out.
I want to know where his dad was. You know, have you met Ollie and his dad, Rob?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like, he was either somewhere with a screen in front of him watching, or he was just off the picture. What he is glued to what Ollie does. That they are a tandem act.
No, but as he says, we're just two young idiots in the garage trying to figure it out. I mean, what race team wasn't that at some point? You know, unless your dad did or your parents did it and they brought you into it. Anybody who just jumps in is that at some point. And that's where this sport's cool because, you know, if you have a good attitude and you're polite, people will give you the world, as we said, until you start running alongside them. And then, well, kind of on your own, kid. But we have a lot of things to jump into still here. Where do you want to go? Okay. Osh week in practice. Did we talk about that? Friday was great. 48 teams came out. Track was in good shape. I think we're pumped up. The place looked fantastic. I'm excited to get Osh week going. We're doing it again this Friday. Fans can come out and watch if you want. What else did I have to say? Oh, we'll get back to the Outlaw show in a minute. But yeah, practice Friday. I think weather's looking good for late in the day, so I'm hopeful we can make that. What else did I want to say about that? Oh, someone asked in the chat, will we be having heats for the late models. Yeah, I think on the Outlaw schedule that they put out, it says B mod heats on the late model night. It's just a mistake from the Outlaw side of things. But yeah, there's two classes. Both classes have heats and features. Justin Sharp's ready to join us here. We'll bring Sharpie on. Now, Justin, I should probably let you guys know, if I tip Pops back, it's usually hanging around Justin. If I'm drinking a week for some reason, Justin's usually there. I doubt it at T-Max. And we always talk a lot of it, so I appreciate Justin coming on. And I asked Justin a week and a bit ago to come on the show, and he said, I can't, but I'm going to win opening night at Merrittville, and then I'll see you Tuesday. Well, it was 1 week behind, but Sharpie, you got it done. Talk about the win Saturday. Welcome to the program, and how cool is that to start your season off on a great foot?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we unloaded really fast at practice day, and that instilled a ton of confidence in us. And that's actually 2 years in a row I've won the second night out. I won the second night last year as well. So it's good to get the year going. The field's really tough this year, especially adding Mike Bowman now, Lindbergh, Freddie, James. Like that whole top 10 last week it's going to be a tough go all year, especially once handicap starts this week.
Justin, what did you guys change? Because I heard about your speed at practice. You're one of the drivers people said was real fast in the modifieds. What do you attribute the speed to? What did you guys do this offseason?
I talked to the right people at the right time, some opportune times, tried to talk some shocks with people when I got the opportunity to. And we got really fast the last month of the year there last year. But then I had a really bad crash at Humberstone. So I was really glad Randy and Teddy and all them at Bicknell's fixed us up, fixed the frame up, got the car back to exactly where it was, and hopefully we keep building from where it is now.
Sharpie, your family has been around Merrittville for generations. Your dad now, and you, and of course, you got Addie coming up, which is cool, your daughter. But let's talk about, what does it mean to be a Merrittville modified winner? Like, I know it's not your first one, but, when you grew up in a place like that, and I know what it was for us when we were growing up there, like that's something you guys would always dream about, right? So how cool is that to be able to have the confidence to go into there every Saturday and know, okay, I have a shot tonight?
Yeah, that's everything is confidence. We've raced these cars probably for 17 years now, and we never really been in points contention that way, or even like fast wise in the heats, like coming out that fast. So I don't know if it's something setup wise that we've just hit, but we went modified probably 2011, and it was a rough go. That was when it was still open motors, and we didn't quite have the motor everybody did. But now that everybody's on the same playing field, it's pretty surreal actually. Like Pete Bicknell started in front of me last week, right, on Saturday, and I beat Pete Bicknell. So it's cool. It's surreal. I get in trouble sometimes for doubting myself. Like I don't believe it. Like everyone's joking this week that I'm leading the points. I'm like, it's second week, but it would have never happened before, right? Like it's week 2. It doesn't matter. And just go there with a ton of confidence every week.
So Justin, just like last year, you won the second race of the year. Last year, you were real fast at the end of the year. What do you need to do to keep that going all season long? Keep your confidence up. What's it going to take?
Got to put the work in every week during the week. My dad's awesome. We've keeping the car at the shop so far, and he just tinkers on it all week. And I go make sure the tires are all done. They're all prepped, and you got to come ready to go with a loaded gun to run Merrittville, because you got to qualify in the heat races, and then you have to keep your nose clean for the first 10 laps. And we're going to be battling from 15th for the next few weeks. So it's going to be a good show.
Justin, let's talk about the modified climate at Merrittville. Probably 5-6 years ago, Don said sail panels, wetters, and almost threw out the baby with the bathwater with what they had. A lot of the top dollar, open engines just were mad they didn't, and we all thought that they were making a mistake. Now he's got to get back healthy, like you just mentioned, all the drivers you have to do. Talk about the change in like how I guess that how like it was such a deal 5 years ago. Then he totally changed the rules, and he's built it back up to a great spot again with great car counts.
He has it definitely huge now. We've had 24 both weeks. I know 2 years ago, Don approached me in August, and we were actually sitting second in points in Sportsman, and he said, "Do you want to go modified?" So for the last 3 weeks, we ran modified, knocked off a couple top fives, and I think it got the ball rolling there. A couple more guys came out, and it's a real competitive division, and it gives everybody a chance now. Being that the Wagner's about 25 grand compared to how expensive some of these open motors are. So I think everybody, it's a stepping stone. Because I believe a crate motor is almost 10,000 now for a sportsman one.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a jump. We all have the same rims and tires. So I think everybody's kind of giving it a go and seeing that, hey, he has a chance to do it. So maybe we can jump up there and try it.
Is it a bulletproof engine, Justin?
No, everyone's had their problems. Pardon me?
So don't answer that.
No,
that's a bad luck thing, man.
Absolutely. I blew up at the end of last year. Martin Polehill hurt one in hot laps on practice day, and that was a brand new one, only a year old. So, yeah, it's just like any crate engine you get somewhere. It kind of just goes as long as it wants to go. I
didn't ask him about his engine. I asked about the engine.
Okay, fair enough.
Someone's engine could be.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You want to get speed, but you want to get reliability. And Justin, you grew up around it. Who do you see in the next generation coming up that's going to be fun to see step up through the ranks?
The young kids like Nigel made a lot of progress last year. Noah's getting it. It's kind of hard to watch. One of these days, you got to kick Cody up there. Let a few more guys win down there. But yeah, it's kind of tough. That division's wide open right now. We had a bunch of guys actually move out, like lost Leslie this year, and so.
Yeah. Sharpie, that's all we got for you now, man. Just go out. Good luck again this week, and keep coming back for the right reasons.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Good job, Justin Sharp, modified winner from Merrittville on Saturday. Great to see Sharpie do it. I was standing behind his dad near Flash and those guys, and just seeing his dad's reaction when he pulled it off, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It's always cool. No, I know Sharpie still looks 14. It's like the Babe Ruth, like he called a shot. He's like, I'm gonna hit her, and then he did it. You know, maybe it wasn't that time at bat. It was the next time at bat, but he still got it done. And no, it's just
you
good.
mentioned it. Merrittville Speedway is a legendary place. Like, it just has so much history of people that have raised families, made families, created new families, and keeps on going and going. It's kind of a sacred place when it comes to dirt racing in Ontario.
The same thing could probably no. I've been saying this for years about Merrittville Speedway though, and the same thing could probably said for any short track that's been around 75 years. But man, I don't even know what course you would have to take in university, but whatever deals with families and genealogy, the Twisted Vines at Merrittville Speedway is a doctorate thesis piece if there ever was one, because the families there mixing with the other families there, mixing with the other families there, mixing with that family over there. You want to talk about who can't park next to who? There you go. But no, when you go, I mean, just I could name names for days about so and so that got together up there. It's just crazy. Hell, I met, Christine, at the Merrittville banquet. So my vine's twisted through that place too. All right. Let's talk about ticket resellers.
Spencer, save that quote, please.
What?
My vine's twisted through that place too. That is my favorite thing you have ever said.
That's fair. Let's jump into it's a wing thing. We talk sprint cars quite a bit. Spencer, let's look at some wing pictures. A bit of fun stuff came out. I sent you 3 Kyle Larson pictures first. They were already in the picture drop that I was going to send over. Lots of stuff went on with Kyle Larson with his qualifying with the Outlaws and the high limit in the past little while. And there's a lot of talk about stuff. So this was something that someone shared. It might have been Peter Turf, but that's a fixed wing, Adam. What we mean by that, the slider is bolted down. It's in a fixed position, cannot slide forward or backward like the other ones do. So everybody start talking. Show me a couple other pictures of that, Spencer, if you can. So, no, go back to the Larson one. We'll get to that one. That's the last one of the series. Anyways, the Larson pictures, that's one thing they were talking Flip to the other one where it's the two cars in one, Spencer. And this is so Danny Dietrich put this one out today. Adam, you shared it. Old Scruffy and Jacob Allen got tricks up their sleeve. Nicely done. One way to make the new kid on the block look fast. Makes sense why a kid who just won his first. It's a little bit of sour grapes. But look at the wings, Adam, the way they're collapsing down. So that is supposedly giving more downforce than a smooth surface, giving more bite on the back wheels. So Danny Dietrich posts this about Jacob Allen. An hour later, Jacob Allen posts this one. The other last one there, Spencer, you already showed with the apple on top. He shows a picture of Danny Dietrich with the same thing happened to his wing. And he says, call the cops now. Danny Dietrich's cheating. So a little bit of he said, she said, pointing across the fence. I thought it was interesting, but just goes to show you, even in sprint cars where they seem very basic, there's still lots of twisting of the deal to try and get any advantage you can. And as we get ready to bring them 410s to Ush Weekend, it's going to be wild.
So let's go behind the scenes a little bit, Clinton. For a long time in racing, if you knew one of your competitors was cheating, you weren't going to storm up to the tech area. You were going to go to the grapevine, and you were going to make sure you told the person that would definitely tell the tech person who was cheating and what they might want to look for. Am I wrong?
I love those guys.
Right? On the down low. Well, those days are gone. We've got social media now because it went from people being very subtle to people being a lot more vocal and finger pointing, and the Mike Bowman season that just about blew up the sprint car world was like that. And now it's just extended onto social media. So you can just make a post, say everything you need to say, and let the rules makers find it and do what they want to do.
Well, guys will come up to me and bitch about, oh, he's cheating. And, I said, what are they doing? Oh, I can't say nothing. I'm like, then I guess you're going to have to wait for us to figure it out. If you figure it out, have a little birdie, drop that in my mailbox somehow. We'll look at that part of the car and figure out if it's really a problem or not. You might be onto something because we don't really know nut and bolts on the car as much as we'd like to. Ash Weekend, though, that is our deal to run a fair game. I mean, let's even talk about residuals. You talk about the Bowman season. Here's one that I go back to, okay? Last year, our fence lights, our beautiful LED lights that we use for cautions, went on inadvertently at the start of the crate race. Thankfully, it's gone green, and we're coming out at 2. No position had changed, and the lights jammed on yellow. We couldn't do nothing about it. Now, could you imagine had that happened the year before? Let me say, Bowman this year he had, where everybody was sure he had something up his sleeve, and Ush Weekend was backing it. Our yellow lights come on. Haferteep's leading for 30K. Bowman's 10 cars back, and all of a sudden our lights come on, and we can't turn them off, and now brings them up to the back bumper, and Bowman say, beats Haferteep? I am not getting out of Ush Weekend's property with my head that night. It's just not happening. So we took advantages. We didn't run that system ever again once it let us down. Spencer, you got the pictures of the lights I sent to Light Drop? I know Picture Drop. I'm jumping ahead. But our new lights this day, these are new wireless lights. They're red, yellows, and greens. They'll be placed around. We got more than 3 of them. We have a new on-ramp, green and red, but these are cool. These are going to be in place for practice on Friday and going forward. So just like that, we learn stuff, and even situations prompt us to have to take action because, man, had that happened season, it would have been terrible for us. So while we're talking Ush Weekend, Spencer, let's roll the Outlaw ad. Still lots of tickets ready. These races will not sell out, but we're going to be packed. We've sold a ton of tickets already. Order your tickets now. Make sure you're part of it. Roll the ad, Spencer, if you can, please.
Get ready for the World of Outlaws return to Canada.
They'll race side by side out of corner number 4. Trying to take the lead. They'll go wheel to wheel to turn 3. Splitting cars in turns 3 and 4 and 3 wide. Trying to power back around. He'll have a run out of turn number 4. We've got a race for the lead out of turn 2.
The dirt is what we live for. Come see the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars near you.
Cool. That'll be running all over social media here in the next 2 weeks. We've already rolled it out once, but it's about to get boosted. So hopefully you're seeing that with your Cheerios every morning for the next 10 days or so as we get closer to it. Spencer, was that a smart ass remark you just threw in our ears? Yeah.
I love
Spencer
sarcasm.
liked all the Osh Weekend footage. Well, they haven't been with us in 7 years. If they used old footage, man, it would look like, the TV Adam watched when he came home from lunch in grade 4. All right. Let's talk about ticket resellers. Last week, Adam, we kind of had this talk last few weeks about economics and scammers. We thought we had a scammer on the line for tickets again this week. Customer sends me an email and says, I bought 14 tickets for me and a group, but I paid $110 instead of $65, and all my friends are mad now because I could have gotten your site. We immediately thought it was a scam. I got Mary on the case. We start delving into it. Find out, sure enough, this guy is in our system. He has bought multiples of tickets for the last 10 years. Well, sure enough, he bought it at a different site. So what we found out, Adam, is there's ticket resellers like StubHub and event tickets and all kinds of stuff like that out there selling these tickets. Well, I thought it was a scam. Turns out people are reselling these Osh Weekend tickets, and I'll get to why I think that's happening. Then Mary did a bunch more research, started searching around, and found a ton of places that are reselling Osh Weekend tickets. Now, are they legit? I don't know. They did buy them from us? I don't know. So I'm going to say right now, the only legitimate ticket place you buy your tickets from is the Osh Weekend website or Show Pass. Anything else cannot be guaranteed, even though these sites say they'll guarantee them on their website. It's not a purchase through us, okay? So let's get to it. Spencer, throw up the screenshot that I sent you of all these sites. So last Thursday, I'm driving around. Mary sends this, another site, another site, another site, another site at the bottom, and she says, I'm freaking out. Well, at the end of the day, turns out a lot of these are resellers. Then we go back at them and look. The day our social media post came out that camping was sold out, we sold a ton of online tickets. So I think we might have gamed the resellers by them thinking these events are going to sell out. They bought a shit ton of tickets that hopefully nobody buys and we get paid for because they read the social media post wrong, thinking the whole place was sold out.
Well,
Now,
I put a line in the latest release that we put out. I put a line in there, tickets are going fast, just to see if that gets caught on anybody's algorithm.
And yeah, so if you need to buy tickets, one, the pits will never sell out. If they do, I'll eat my shoes. We're going to have room in the pits both nights. Grand's going up pretty quick. So if you want to sit in a specific spot or have your Friday night spot, I would encourage you to go to our Osh Weekend website. The ticket link's right at the top. Showpass.com also has it. And that's where you can get the legitimate tickets for Osh Weekend. Not saying these resellers aren't, but why would you pay $110 when we have tickets for sale at $65? Right. It just doesn't make much sense. So,
how much is reserve seating and how much is of the grandstand is general admission?
Everything is the same. So if you want, if you buy your tickets in advance right now, go ahead.
Because I know all the seats are, I'm not talking price-wise, because every seat in every row is numbered there, correct?
Yeah. So if you come in on the day of the races, Mary's is going to hand you tickets. And let's face it, the bottom rows are going to be you'll be able to move around like you would at any sporting event if you want. But the top 15 rows are going to be packed with people with numbered seats. And so if you want to be in one of those spots, say you like to sit in section H at the top, you're going to have to go online and try and get those tickets. Same thing in the pits. Pit grandstand is first come, first serve. We're going to do our best to take the blankets out and make sure that's not happening. Just, we're still learning when we get these major events. New problems arise and we figure them out. Before we get to Cory Turner, he's coming a bit later. Let's show the SOS at Merrittville letter, Spencer. We talked about Justin Sharp at Merrittville. The SOS had a show. Thank you. Peter sends out a personal note. Last night's SOS event at Merrittville Speedway left us feeling indebted to so many. First off, the track and its fans, you were superstars. There was nothing good about yesterday's weather, And yet Don and Lorraine opened up the gates. The fans came out, gave us a place to play, and an audience to play in front of is always great. Side note, it was one hell of a Hoosier Stock feature. The greatest compliment from an open wheel guy. Pete's not really into the street stocks, but he liked what he saw. To the teams that came far and wide, Poirier was there from Quebec. Trenka was there from New York. Some of them came in. They had 22-car field, and that's pretty good. Just want to thanks Paul and Nicole for helping out. But you can move off that, Spencer. I just want to say it was a great show. I got to send kudos out to Tim Knapp, the new race director there, and the whole Maryville crew. It was cold. It was raining, and I talked to Peter in the tower, and he said, "Would you have pulled the plug?" And I said, "You can't really. Like, it wasn't enough to pull the plug, even though it was cold. It was damp, but it wasn't raining." I'm a firm believer those build fan bases, you know, because they know you're going to give it your all.
Yes.
They'll give it their all and keep coming out, you know.
100%.
So you got to go through it. And yeah, I thought they did a great job. They canceled victory lanes. They sped up intermission. They put the sprint cars third so those guys could get on the road and make sure they didn't get rained out. They did everything right. So I want to give a good pat on the back to Merrittville race director Tim Knapp, Peter's crew. It was a good deal. Everybody was on the road by like 10 shortly after. The way we should be pumping them out when we need them. Mike Morris sent me this. Mike is our sales guy at Oshweekend, who's done another fantastic job with us. The Speedway looks gorgeous with all the new signage out there. Sent me this. And one thing we're really pushing, not only are we trying to sell signs and advertising, our mission is to bring new people out. So, you know, if you're going to buy a sign, you're getting a lot of pressure to also get some tickets and bring people out. Like, let's get a part of this. And Dale Jr. had a great talk bit on his show about getting people to the races. So let's watch that quickly. I think it's a good segment.
You know, Amy's family's there, right? They aren't hardcore race fans, didn't grow up race fans, right? They got into racing and watched it just because I did it a little bit, right? So they're pretty very casual. And one of the things that they said that I never even thought of, but I thought it was so nice to hear from somebody that didn't grow up in it, right? I'm biased. I love it. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. They said seeing a race in person is there's not enough emphasis on getting people to the racetrack in person. So these guys didn't connect to the sport until they saw it. Watching it on TV didn't get them into it. But when they went and saw it in person, the speed, the sound, the smells, all those things were available to them in person and made watching it on TV easier. And so they were telling me, they're like, man, this is something that NASCAR needs to really tap into and focus on, is getting people to the racetrack to turn them into fans. But they're like, man, once we went and saw it, that was more important for me becoming a fan of NASCAR than any other sport they'd ever observed or known of.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's 100% right. And think about it. So these enormous TV deals, huge broadcast rights that pour so much money into the sport, that's just to pay the sport and pay the teams, right? Like, everybody wants you to be at the races. So even though that's the money machine that fuels the sport, it's still built on going to the track, being at the track, the bonding you do with your family and your friends when you go to a racing event together. It's unmatched. You don't get the same thing with a number of people sitting on their couch, even though I love that, to watch the Daytona 500 and have a bunch of people get together. It's not about that. It's about getting to the races.
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts on that. So, like, I've been fortunate enough to go to Daytona, Talladega, Bristol. Okay, those are the big tracks I've been to. And let's even put the Buffalo Bills in that. So I've been to those stadiums and those events. So I feel like I can relate to them better when I watch them on TV because, I understand what that corner of the stadium or that part of the track is like because I've seen it with my own eyes. And it makes watching those way more interesting to me now because I can put myself in that spot, if that makes sense, right? And I think what the biggest point of that Earnhardt thing was, at the end it said more than other sports, you have to get them out there to the track. So to me, that means it's easier to fall in love with football or hockey by watching it on TV. And when you get there, you're like, okay, this is cool. But when you see a race, it drags you in more than any other sport to the point like, oh man, I'm going to be all part of this now. So I think I think they're absolutely right. Like, you're going to see a big mission. We're even doing I haven't talked about, I don't know how much we talk so much, but big thing we're working on right now is trying to give away tickets to new people. So if you got somebody who's never been to Wash Weekend, send me a message. I'll get you some tickets, and I'm not even kidding. If you can show me you're legit. I mean, John Carly used to do that all the time. Send me a message every Friday. Hey, I'm bringing 6 newbies. No problem. Your name's at the gate. Get them in here. Let's show what we're doing. I've been staying for 10 years. If you have 10,000 people never been to Australian Speedway, I'll give you 10,000 tickets right now. Tony Spiteri from Pinty's back in the day told us that. I got to put chicken in their mouth before they're going to buy it at the supermarket. That's why they're out giving samples. All these great things that are happening. So that is the mission of Australian Speedway, to really, show the teams they're valued and push for new fans.
And to go back to your point about seeing the races live, I think what sets racing apart from all the other sports is how much it bends your senses. The sound is deafening. The visual of it, like, it's death defying what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
And you get a great sense of that when you go to the track and stand near the fence or get to your seat and see it. You can't get that effect. You don't get that at a football game or a baseball game. Like, they're doing what you think they were doing. But with a car race, they are doing things that you can't even fathom being done in a car.
I describe it, and this is no bullshit. Imagine driving down the 401 of the QEW here in Canada at 135 miles an hour for our American friends, or 170 kilometers an hour for our Canadians. Just imagine going in anything on the highway. You're freaking cooking, man. Now you got a guy on each side of you, and you're going to go a mile. You're both going to drift through that turn, head back the other way now, eastbound, for 3 seconds, and then drift again and come back the other way. Like, it's crazy. And then when one of you loses your shit and you end up tumbling, when you see a car crash at 170 miles an hour, most people, or 170 kilometers an hour, sorry, most people don't witness that in their life unless they're very, very unlucky. We see it 5-6 times every Friday night, and the driver gets out, most times, touch wood, and says, that was cooler than a ride at Canada's Wonderland, as Glenn likes to say. So, insane. I like to tell the new moms coming out, or even, we got new drivers out there, and I'm like, hey, well, what do you think about that? How do you deal with that? I think for me, with my brother Mike, I knew the danger of sprint cars, but after he crashed his ass off 4 or 5 times and got out okay, I just don't worry about him anymore. I don't know why. I think you got to have those bad, wild crashes, Yeah. And then you kind of move on with it. But all right, before Cory Turner's here. I blinked and he arrived. Let's have him on. Cory Turner's going to join us now. Cory, sprint car racer here in Ontario, dabbles a bit in the States. Had a 360 and a 410 out this week. Cory, welcome to the show. How's it going? Okay, we got him muted. We got to fix that. Hang on, Cory.
Okay.
There,
we got you
okay,
now.
I heard you there.
Hey, yeah, no, good. Thanks for having me, guys. No, things been pretty good. Race season's starting up here in Ontario, so yeah, things are good.
Cory, as much as I don't want to talk about bad news, you had some engine trouble Saturday night. Have you been able to diagnose and see how bad it is?
No, we haven't gotten it apart yet. That's a job that my dad's gonna do. We fired off there Saturday night and dropped a valve, so that wasn't ideal. Merrittville's a place we always love going. Had some success there in the past, had some hard wrecks there in the past. But yeah, either way, we always get extra pep in our step from Merrittville, and yeah, that was a bummer for sure.
Cory, let's talk about Friday night. Let's back it up. You had both cars out there. I guess other than obviously pure horsepower, what are the big differences between the 360 and the 410?
Just the balance of the car. 410's got an aluminum block, so it's a lot lighter. And it'll really come off the corner a lot quicker than the 360. The track had some moisture there the other night. and it was pretty cool. I can't wait to get back there in a couple weeks with it and roll out for time trials. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
So, do you have to drive them much differently, Cory?
Oh, I'm probably not the best guy to answer that. I've only raced, once with the All-Stars at Weed Sport and once with the Outlaws at Weed Sport in a 410. I barely probably have 100 laps total in a 410. The other night, I don't know, it drove a lot like a 360, but it didn't, the track was pretty smooth, little character, getting into 1, getting into 3. But, I'm sure if you talk to a guy like Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson, they probably have a huge difference, but I'm not quite on that level. So I didn't notice a huge difference, but maybe ask me at the end of the Outlaw week and we'll have a different opinion.
Cory, that Outlaw week, as you mentioned, they're Oshweekend Wednesday, Thursday. Then you've got 410s at Ransomville if you want to go with the high limit. Then I believe it's Utica and then back to Cornwall. How many of those 5 are you planning on racing?
Right now, definitely Wednesday, Thursday at Oshweekend. We're going to take the Friday off, kind of regroup. Saturday, I think we're going to be doing a car show over with our partner Lone Wolf Fireworks with Jonathan and his crew there. So he's going to have some smoking deals on fireworks, especially heading into the Victoria Day long weekend. So if anybody is in that area, definitely stop out and see us. We're going to have a barbecue, the whole 9 yards. So that should be a lot of fun. And then weather permitting, we'd like to get up to Cornwall for the Sunday night with it being a long weekend.
Right on.
Cory, you do as much with marketing and sponsorship as any drivers out there. Was it a big benefit to you that the Outlaws are coming this year? Does that change your approach to meeting new potential partners?
Yeah, 100%. Huge shout out to all the track staff for making that happen. Between Clint and yourself, and now with Doug Leonard out on the road as the race director with the Woo. If you would have told me last year this time that the Outlaws be coming back to Oshweekend for 2 dates, I would have thought you were smoking something. But
Me too.
Even Johnny Gibson, he never wavers on his favorite tracks. It's always River City's number 1, Oshweekend number 2, all the time. Any interview he's ever been on, there's been some hell of races, back 2015, 2016, 2017 with the Outlaws. Hopefully it gets slick, widens out, and there's lots of good racing. Guys can come from the back. We're really blessed with the surface at Oshweekend that it doesn't take rubber. The Outlaws, other than Wheat Sport, there's not too many tracks out there that they go to that don't take rubber. I've also got to really thank you guys for giving our buddy Bert a shout out here about a month ago. Bert's going through a bit of a rough patch here, but he's on the mend, and we got to give him a shout out. He's done a lot for myself, my dad, and our careers, and so thanks to you guys for that.
No,
I remember Bert being around when you guys were toddlers, helping your dad out. Cory, let's talk about, since you brought up tires, on the 360. So the Outlaws amazing, great, but we still have a whole season after that. Big change with the tires this year. All the 360 groups are going to this medium hard. It's 2 inches less tire than we've had. It's a lot harder than we've had. It could really upset the apple cart in the pecking order at Oshweekend. How do you feel about it? How do you feel you're going to adjust to it? And are you've had a bit of experience, I'm assuming, with it in the States. So how are you going to get with that?
Yeah, I've run with the NRA, which has now been taken over by the GLSS. I'm talking, pre-COVID. 2017, 2018 in there. I was never very good on that tire. We didn't run it a lot. I'd only dabble with those guys, 3-4 times a year. It's going to be harder. Sidewall is going to be different. Tread's going to be a lot, it's going to be narrower tire. I think it's going to make the setup window narrower. I do think that, a guy like Dylan Westbrook, he's got a lot of time on that tire. I don't think that's going to upset him very much. Myself, it's going to be a bit of a transition for sure. But we'll keep going on the old HTC till July 1st, and then we'll have to rewrite the notebook, I guess.
So I know the fans will be curious to know what's your take on the 2 nights of Outlaws, Cory. What's the goal for those races for Cory Turner?
Oh, first and foremost, those are going to be extremely difficult shows. Between the 15 full-time Outlaw drivers that are coming, Stuart Friesen's confirmed, Anthony Macri, Jordan Poirier, a lot of guys with a lot of laps at Oshweekend, good in a 410. Outlaw wins, Outlaw top 5s. We would just like to put in the A main both nights. If we could sneak out a top 15, top 10, that would be excellent for our program.
Last one I got for you, Cory. Let's talk a bit of business here in Canada. We just had our election last night. A lot of tariffs going on. But what I want to get is not in specifics about it, but even us from the Speedway. We saw this coming. From our market partners, we really tried to get ahead of this. Did you do anything different this spring to kind of get ahead of this financial situation so you could come out strong with your earners?
I didn't do anything different than we've done in years past. We do have some new partners coming on the car that we'll be ready to release come Outlaw time. But yeah, other than that, I just tried to get out and see our existing partners and any potential new partners as well. I'm lucky, going into our 3rd year with Nathan Ackland. He has quite a few partners that are loyal to him. I brought some of my partners over to the program. So I'm blessed that our car is quite full and we have guys that reach out every year looking to be on it. So we've got something going in the right direction. But the big thing is about partners. It's more about what you can do for them than what they can do for you. And I know Adam's worked with Anna Marie in the past. I worked with her probably 8-9 years ago, and that was the biggest point she always hammered home to me. But no, I'm extremely blessed to be a part of the Nathan Ackland racing team. Nate has just been working his ass off here the last 2-3 months to get our program to where it needs to be, and I think there's big things ahead for us here in 2025.
Awesome. Well,
Right
Cory, thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're a busy man, young family, so time is precious.
Yeah, I can hear my kids screaming upstairs right now.
No problem. Go get him, Cory. Thank you. Cory Turner, one of the contenders, going to be going for the championship again this year and, of course, trying to qualify. Here's a list of Outlaw Platinum drivers that are planning to be in Oshweekend. David Gravel, Carson Macedo, Sheldon Hodden, Shots, Buddy Kofoid, Logan Schuhart, Giovanni Selzy, Cole Macedo, Bill Baylog, Garrett Williamson, Skylar Gee, Zach Hampton, Connor Morrell, Chris Wyndham, Hunter Schoenberg. Additions to the list from around here: Stuart Friesen, Glenn Stiers, Anthony Macri from Pennsylvania, Jordan Poirier, Tyler Pallas, Ryan Turner, Cory Turner, Joe Trenka, Todd Hoddick, Dylan Westbrook, Josh Hansen, Kevin Pauls. Those are the drivers that have told us they'll be racing for sure. I expect 24 410s at least, and probably another 12 360s. I've been telling people 32 to 36 car count with 24 410s minimum. Keep stumbling over that. You want to look at videos? Let's do some pictures first. Throw out the pictures we haven't got to yet, Spencer. Oh, this is cool, Adam. So, late at night, I got to watch these documentaries so I can fall asleep with the TV on. Nothing I care about, so it's always historical stuff. Somehow I stumbled on this. This is a steam-powered car, and the racing on the beach at Daytona was first started with steam-powered cars. Look at these machines. There's a few of them. That was the Stanley Steamer. No, that's the Stanley Steamer. Took a canoe, put a steam engine in it. They built these new little high-powered boilers, and this thing's powered on steam, set land world records around 1900. Check out these things. Wild-looking machines that these guys were racing on the beach at Daytona. Steam-powered. Yeah. I thought that was super cool. All right. What else, Spencer? Oh, this is Disney Raceway, Adam. Walt Disney World built a track. I believe it's at their Florida place. Yeah, obviously, Floridian Way. Okay, duh. So, Walt Disney World in Florida, they had a racetrack at one time. It mostly was the Richard Petty Racing school or experience. This thing was a real racetrack. And I remember IndyCar, I think, had a race or two there. Might have been even one of them had a race there. But it's a shame, just fading away there outside Disney World. It's now part of the parking lot, is what we're told. We even lost one at Mickey's house. All right. Next. Our buddy Steve Lewis. Steve raced Talladega on the weekend, as did Andy J, who's been with us, Andy Jankowiak. With this great ride, Steve picked up a new sponsor. Want to send a shout out to him. Smart Grid. Great job. Steve got caught up in some trouble, but still the car looked good. Got to race at Talladega. If you recall, we had him on after Daytona when qualifying got rained out. Steve didn't get in the show, so congrats to Steve Lewis Jr. Just a kid being brought up right at him. Was that you? In a super modified? I know it's a drag car, but
it was not, but I wish it was.
That's parenting done right. All right, what else, Spence? Oh, there's our opener. Getting ready to come out. Race Champions, Sports, Crates, and Thunderstocks. A week from this Friday, there's our first G-Force broadcast for those asking. Friday, May 9th. What else? Oh, look at this. Bullhead City, Arizona, Adam, where we're going to retire one day to your compound. Nice track. Bullhead City. This is the city doing this. Politics. Has a new oval track for individuals who race remote-controlled vehicles. The city has done a one-of-a-kind RC Park with Rotary Park. The track and its associated improvement in the near future. There are several other remote-control features within Rotary Park for those who use cars, fly airplanes. Bullhead City has some awesome parks. I agree. How cool is that, Adam?
Well, I've told you about that loop in Lake Havasu City.
Yes.
I think the motto for that city is "No bad days." Like but there's a driving loop where they've got it's a small speedway. It's like a 5-mile oval, but a cool little place. But then they have mini putt, BMX track, RC remote control car race track. Like they've got every activity you can imagine all in about 1.5 kilometers of this road. It's just
cool.
So cool.
I like it. What else we got, Spencer? Oh, I've seen a lot of NASCAR DQs lately. I don't know what's going on, but they're on it. The number 60 and 22 cars disqualified following post-race inspection, Talladega. Spoiler infractions. 60 car is now 38th, and Joey Logano's 39th. Pretty wild.
I'd love to know what
the crackdowns lately were. Yeah, something with the rear spoiler, but we'll see. What else, Spencer? Oh, so this is like a 3D printed or mapped out car of that 3-wheeled Supra I was telling you about before. I don't know why this popped up in my feed. Look at this thing, Adam. It was definitely a funky mobile. There it is in real life again. Just a crazy looking thing.
Wild.
I still don't know. Would Bob Ross have approved that or disapproved of that?
You know what? I wish I knew. I think he would approve.
Because he didn't like rules in super modifieds. Do whatever you want, right?
That's right.
So is that a do whatever you want car? Or is that like, okay, we racing cars or UFOs here?
Nah, I think that's do whatever you want.
That's almost like is a hot dog a sandwich question. Is a 3-wheeled one-sided race car a race car?
Why does a car have to have 4 tires?
It doesn't.
I guess it's part of what you...
Why do you have to have even tires on even sides or even corners? I guess you can't. I guess you don't. What if someone brought out a unicycle car with one big wheel in the motor powered by a big block? We going to allow that go like a giant yo-yo with the body on it?
It would tip over.
See, you just had your now you're getting stupid look coming on your face. So I'm just trying to figure where that line is between no rules and maybe we need some rules.
Man, no, I'm with you. Wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if you could have like a soapbox derby for race cars? Because the soapbox derby, you buy the kit. Or no, I'm thinking of the little cars. that go down
Fine
the
with
track. Yes, you get the kit and you've got to do your best with what you've got to work with. Wouldn't it be neat if you could do that with a car? So here's the collection of parts that you get. Now go make a car that'll go as fast as it can. The race is on Sunday. Doesn't matter what you do as long as it uses those parts.
On paper, it looks okay. Okay, this Delta Wing car is pretty. Now that's for one. This wasn't in the rundown, Spencer. This is Spencer going rogue on us. Okay, but
Wow.
like there are two wheels in the front and two wheels in the back and two wheels on the left side and two wheels on the right side. They're just not in alignment with each other, front to back. That car's got to be stable as all hell, though, right? Yeah,
No kidding.
I see the resemblance. I see the resemblance, Spencer. I'll give it to you there. You know, it's crazy to think some of these guys. So what I was going to say there is, you say on paper it sounds give these guys the kits, but not everybody has the mechanical acumen that everybody else in the pits. For example, the Thunderstocks wanted to be allowed to cut off their trailing arms and reposition their rear ends a couple years ago. And this was something like, I think it was a cockamamie thing to let the metrics be more competitive with and I said, that's great. Because a Jimmy Lowenberg, a Todd Gordon, a Glenn Hills, they're going to move that thing properly. But I'm not going to name names of the other 6 guys I'm thinking of. We're going to come with that whole 200-pound assembly, donkey snotted in, and expect it to stay in when our track has a couple ripples on it. It's not a good way to go. So at some point we have to step in and say, nah, I don't think so.
Most often, rules protect racers from themselves.
Yes.
Not protecting them from the track or from you've got to do that to protect the drivers from what their own creativity and their own quest for speed will cause them to do.
And they'll do stupid things like not pulling in when your safety belts are loose and, you know, any other little thing they need to do to keep it going. All right, Burger Barn Videos of the Week. We're down to it. Petra Plus is also there along 4th line. Go get fueled up as we wait for them to rebuild the glorious Burger Barn so we can get fueled up. What do we got today?
This year's All-Star race will include a promoter's caution, which allows Marcus Smith and Speedway Motorsports to throw a caution between laps 101
Oh, yeah,
and
let's ask
220.
Kyle. Ask Kyle.
We used to do this all the time when Kyle was leading.
Spot off. What are we doing? If we're Bailey and Barnum, then let's just freaking call it Bailey and Barnum. I mean, they went out of business. We know that, right? Like the traveling circus went out of business.
Yeah, the thing for me is like if we're gonna go this way, let's go all out. Don't give it to Marcus. Don't let NASCAR. Just put a fan, pick a drunk fan in the grandstands, put him in the flag stand with a yellow flag,
Have him spin a wheel,
and tell him anytime after lap 100 you get to throw that yellow flag. Whenever
you drink 6 beers.
You got to drink them, chug a beer.
No, the guy's got to drink a beer every 10 laps, and when he falls over, the yellow comes out.
There we go.
That is content. All right.
There we go.
Like if you want to have gimmicks, let's go all out. Like
you just said it.
like
It's a gimmick. We're gimmicking. Like, why are we gimmicking into good racing? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Pretty spot on from Kyle Busch there. I thought that was, you agree?
I do. Yeah.
I'm with you. All right, next, Spencer. Okay, I'm asking. Yeah, you better shut that off so don't get a strike, Spence. Mute it, no? But I'm asking, okay, my race car friends, is this a track issue? Is this too much spring? Is this a terrible shock package? What the F is going on with this car?
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah, just bad. All around bad. But Bubba Joe won the race on Saturday, so what do you know, Clinton? All right. Go for
Guys,
it.
Bobby Pierce
What's
here.
up next?
Come with me as I show you how to replace a right rear spoiler and this little.
This is kind of cool.
Panel.
I love these
A lot of
videos.
people
If
do
you're a
this
race car
differently, but here's
team,
how I do it.
we want this. We want this content every week from you. Fixing your car. What do you do behind the scenes? We talk about it here with our camera guys. We see cars in the bowl, as I say, all the time. Circles. Show me what's going on outside. Show me what you do to get there. Show me how you got a flat tire on the highway and had to struggle to make it happen. Those are all the things we want, Adam, right?
Yep.
So I showed this for the content, but also it's kind of cool. You know, they're always tearing up these quarters on these late models. He's showing how they do it. And instead of replacing that whole 6-foot deck piece, they're set up now just to replace the corner that gets mashed every time. I thought it was pretty ingenious. Bobby Pierce says he does this in about 30 minutes.
That's very cool.
So it's all modular, that one corner. Because at one time, that'd be a 6-foot spoiler, a 6-foot door, and a 6-foot panel that you'd be tearing it all apart every week. Now they can just replace that corner in modular pieces. Move it, Spence. Let's see what we got now.
Scrambler, his great-grandfather.
Okay. Adam, what do you think this is? Do you think it's a video game?
I don't know.
This is a new interactive way to watch basketball. Now just imagine when they bring this to racing. So it looks like a video game, but this is the actual basketball NBA game that's going on now, and you're going to watch this on your coffee table as it's happening like a video game. Now, to me, this is trying to relate to the kids who grew up playing video games and bring them into the sport. I just thought it was wild technology, and how long till we see it in race cars?
It's kind of interesting.
Am I way out of the box we're bringing? All right, let's go. Trimming the tire hairs out of them. Did you know they did this in NASCAR? So it's one guy's job to cut all the little nibs off the tire at Talladega because they feel it makes it more aerodynamic and causes less drag to cut a better qualifying lap. Just show it again, Spencer, so you can see what we're really, really talking about. You're talking about splitting hairs here.
Yeah, but imagine if you had all those pieces sticking out of the car, like little fibers sticking out of the car. You would cut them off. You want it smooth.
They're not wasting the manpower because they're imagining it. It's obviously there, but I just thought that was crazy. We talk about small details and you win races in the garage. Well, there's a small detail that's going to help them win a race in the shop. What else, Spence? I just knew you'd like this, Adam. I don't know what it is, but you and Shrek and me and Greg and just smash the shit out of each other at the fair.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know. I don't think I need a different weight category to go against Shrek. He rolled me right over. All right.
We both do.
Next.
Weirdest thing.
Oh, this is the crash we saw a week ago from the other angle. But the point of this is look at how mangled this car is.
Good God.
All right. What else? Jump in here, Adam, anytime.
Well, my dog has been sitting on the other side of the room for an hour. How does he know to walk over, sit down right in front of me, and start whining?
He knows. They know, man. He's like, okay, you got till 9:10, and then tell Clint to shut the hell up because we got to go outside.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let's get through it. We got a couple more to go, I think. Roll them, Spence. 2 more. Okay, I just got to know, are these bikers not having their eyes open? One after another, they hit this massive gate. And it's not really invisible.
It's not really invisible.
Like, just full on crushing it. All right, keep it coming. A German backwards race. Imagine going Mosport in jalopies in reverse.
Oh!
I didn't
It
hear
sounds
you
like
make
the
that.
Swedish chef providing commentary.
Oh, too funny. Whew. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out. It's been another good Tuesday. We're overtime again. Decker's got to pee. I got to eat some chicken wings. Go cough my head off because I've been holding them in for an hour. Spencer, thanks for everything. Adam, take us home before I die.
Thanks for a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday. It's almost go time at Ashwegan Speedway. Have a great week.
Come on. What, you had to put your announcer voice on? You couldn't just say everybody. See you next week. All right.
I haven't used my announcer voice in 6 months.
All right. Well, you better get practicing in the shower. We'll need you soon, Pavarotti.
Okay.
See you, boys. Thanks, Spencer. See you guys. Thanks for hanging out.